welcome back. We got a treat for you today. We got an LS slammed sideways. We have a PO code. We're going to find out what it is in a minute. But this car has only 69,000 miles. And it does have a Misfire code. We're going to figure that one out. We're going to go ahead and start it and listen to it, verify the complaint. I know the computers detect it, but Kevin said that you could actually hear the miss. So go ahead and start it. Let's go ahead and listen to it for a sec, and we'll pull the codes. Oh, you can hear it. It's definitely got a miss. Ooh. That's a bad miss. No, you ain't getting your tabs with a miss. Impala Super Sport.
That's a 5.3 LS.
Yeah, let's see. It's their flagship. Oh, you can hear that. You can see it. Now let's find out which one it is. We'll go look and see what's going on. That's bad. That'll burn up a cat. PO 300 people. That means we have misfires all across the board. Don't sound very happy though. So we got a water temp sensor issue. That has to be fixed. You're gonna need a temp sensor. Yeah, she's not a happy LS. No, 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 sir. Yeah, shut it off. We're going to burn the cat. You do that.
Well, if this car's barely been driven, I mean, I could see spark plugs and wires being an issue.
Smell the coolant?
Yeah.
It's got a coolant leak somewhere. So, we got PO 300 and a water temp code, you said?
Yeah.
Well, I see the temp code. That's verified. I can listen to the engine, verify the misfire. Alright, water temp sensor first, and then we'll go after the PO 300. Alright, we gotta get some pipes. At this point, we're going to take a good look at the coolant temp sensor, and you can tell it's green. And I want to be honest with you, when you see them green like that and you get a code, change it first. That's the cheapest option. What was the part, like 20 bucks?
23 bucks.
23 bucks. The one thing you need to make sure, though, that you don't have a wiring problem, and that's one thing we had already checked, make sure that this connector was good. Being it's so close to the exhaust, it's possible to melt one, and if you do, you've got to rewire one in, and if you do, I'd put some lead and get that definitely away from the exhaust. The connector looks good so far. Haven't seen anything bad with it. It's not melted, so at this point we just got a failed sensor. This one's actually easy to replace. We're going to do this one quick and dirty in a hurry. We're going to leave the cap on. A little coolant's going to splash out. We're going to put the new part in, and then we're going to test it. Yeah, be careful not to destroy your wire while you're trying to take your sensor out. That's where this job could go south on you. And I can't guarantee if you got a PO 118 that this will fix it, but we're pretty confident with our testing and diagnostic abilities that we're down to the sensor. Dex Cool ruins another temp sensor. Alright, screw it in. You don't want to get crazy tight with this. It is a tapered fit with a little bit of sealant on it.
Make sure it's still serviceable.
You may have to take it off again in 10 years, especially if you have Dex Cool. We'll turn on it, be just fine. Alright, just clear your codes, drive your car, see if your PO 118 goes away. If it doesn't, then you've got a wiring issue, and that's a whole different video for a whole different day. Alright, we're going to move on to the second problem in this LS, and it's showing a P300 saying that all cylinders are misfiring. Well, That's not a coil pack problem. That could be a wiring, or I think in this case, because the temp sensor was bad, this engine was flooded with gas, burnt the plugs up, and we're going to find these plugs are at 92 thousandths gap. What do you think, Kev? Should do a bet now?
No, I think that the plugs are bad.
Yeah, so we're going to do plugs and wires. We're going to get started with that. We're doing this cold. There is some conjecture out there online to do aluminum spark plug, or do aluminum head spark plugs cold or hot. In my shop, the rule is you do it cold and take your time. And you're going to definitely need to use anti-seize when you do the spark plugs on this. So without further ado, we're going to get going on that because we can't clear the codes. We can't clear the 118 and keep the PO300, so we either got to clear them all, which we're going to have to do in this case just to make sure we've corrected the problem. But let's get the plugs out and see how bad they are. 69,000 miles. What's nice about the LS is that the coil pack's set over your cylinder that you're working on, so you can actually pull all the plugs off and service it all at the same time, unlike a 350 where you do it one at a time. Yeah, it's amazing to me they can put this LS in sideways, which means if you could put a 5.3 in here, you could actually put a 6 liter.
I don't know why you'd want to, but
Blow the transmission up. I think its torque rating's like somewhere up in like 330 foot-pound range.
These spark plug wires do not want to come off. I can only imagine you probably have to do the back from underneath the vehicle.
I would say so. I'd get that up on the ramps. Front's easy. Fronts are always easy in front-wheel drive. It's the rear that becomes the fun show. Oh, they took one out of the Buick book, did they? That's why this was only supposed to be done but every 170,000 miles. But the fact that the plugs would be done at 69,000 on a car that's, what, 12 years old? 12, 13 years old?
Are you freaking serious?
Snap that sucker right off. Maybe this thing has gotten really freaking hot, man.
Dude, I can't. Can you give me some, like, normal pliers?
Alright, I'm going to open up the green door here and see what's going on with these plugs. See if they are 92 thousandths gapped. This thing sounds a little rough in all cylinders. It's not just one. Yeah, the back side is going to be the fun one on this one. I mean, yeah, these are a little tough to get off in the front, especially if you're the original and they've got 140 on them.
He was like, it ain't nothing but a thing. It's easy. I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave. I mean, just look at the wires on this car. It's not.
Oh, yeah, the coil packs, plus the injector pack, plus all the sensors.
Why is it like that? Lean burn?
Yep, that's high-speed blast while it's not running right. Oh, it is a V8.
This reminds me of like the 3.4.
Yeah, I see some things that are like the valve covers. Definitely look like 3.4 covers.
This should be the knuckle buster.
Knuckle buster. So far, it doesn't look like it's too bad to work on. I didn't get any trim numbers, so
22.87.
negative 22.
No, positive.
It was adding 22?
Yeah.
Wow. It must have a hell of a vacuum leak then. Yeah, see, it's running lean. That's, you can tell by that plug right there's that plug right there. She is lean. Holy crap. Yeah, we might be dealing with an air leak. Pretty significant one at that.
Just to get the last plug out. I mean, the 3.9 doesn't even fit in here good.
I'll tell you one thing about it. You won't see a Chevy 350 slam sideways on anything GM made during the day. Yeah, that plug is definitely having a problem. We got carbon in there. Got a little bit of oil burning going on. Again, if it's not running right, it won't seal right, especially with these tight tolerance engines. Oh, that's a doozy right there, buddy. This thing's been running like crap for a while. Why do people do that? Wow. Drive it hard and put it away wet. That's what they do. Don't forget your anti-seize. You always want to thread aluminum plugs in by hand. Aluminum is just, you got to be careful with it. Now some people argue you can be as crazy with it as steel, but I disagree.
Let's just grab the impact and just shove it in there.
I'll tell you, if you're working on them Triton ones, those 5.4 Fords with the spark plug poppers, as I call those engines, now that you do hit with an impact to save the threads. But that's the only engine I would say I would ever do that to. Other than that, no. It's all done by hand, spun in. And then once it gets to the tight point, it's just a no less or no more than a half a turn. I mean, you're talking about a quarter turn, and it's seated.
There's one. Here's this.
Don't forget your boots. So you can make the next guy cuss ass to do this job. Alright, just do this 8 more times. So we get these front plugs installed, then get the coil pack wires on, and then go to the back side, pretty much wrap this up. We're going to restart it, clear the codes, and see what we got. Looking at the plugs, we're probably looking at a major vacuum leak though. Alright, as you see, we got it all back in. Back side, we're not going to be able to record for you. There's just no room. Either we're doing this from the back or the front here, but if you do it from the top side, you've got to be careful of that heater core, because you break that and you're going to be crying, because that's probably a plastic tip intake one. GM's notorious for those breaking, and when they break, it's not pretty. So be careful when you do the back side. My cameras are just too big. I mean, even my little handheld couldn't get in there. So we're going to do the same thing in the back. We are going to mark the plugs so we can figure out our PO300, because these two are running rich and these two are running lean, but we didn't have a PO170 or 171. So this one should be interesting when we get it back together. But anyway, backside next. We'll show you the plugs after they're out.